Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar introducing BRMS Dashboards in Insite Analytics. Thanks for joining us. Thousands of organizations use the BRMS solution to perform backup and recovery operations. And what we've heard from some of these customers is that it's not easy to determine the current status of the BRMS environments at a high level. Each environment and machine must be monitored individually. What we want to share with you today is how with the dashboards in Insite Analytics, you can consolidate and monitor all of your BRMS environments into a unified dashboard, giving you immediate visibility into the state of your backups, your media, and the health of your network. My name is Stacy Jensen, and I'm the Sales Manager for the Business Intelligence Division here at HelpSystems. I'm going to kick off the webinar and very quickly hand it off to Mike Stegman. Mike is our Senior Data Access Consultant for the Business Intelligence Division. He has been with HelpSystems for over 18 years and has worked on the IBMI since 1988. How are you today, Mike?
I'm doing real well. Thank you, Stacy. And hopefully we can shed some great information to our attendees here today.
Great. We are recording today's presentation, and we will provide you with the link to the recording in our follow-up email. And of course, if you have any questions today, feel free to send those in through the chat feature. You can reach the chat option by clicking on the orange arrow at the top right-hand side of the screen. So as you said, Mike, we have a lot of good information to share, so I'm going to hand things off. Mike?
Sounds good. Excellent. Excellent. Thanks, Stacy. Back in the day, as they say, when I was an IT manager for a small food manufacturer, we had one IBMI I-Series, as it was known back then. The backups consisted of making sure there was a usable tape in the tape drive each night, right? I'd take the one from the night before home with me, and when I come back in the office the next day, they were stored in a heat-resistant safe until the tape was needed again in the rotation. That was pretty common for that day and age. Today, however, with more and more data being gathered, retained, and analyzed, more transactions being entered into databases, often companies have several systems and/or partitions. BRMS can help you automate and manage the backups and recovery across your enterprise IBMI environment. It helps you implement a disciplined approach to managing your backups and provides you with an orderly way to retrieve lost or damaged data. And we recently spoke with BRMS clients who estimate they spend 40 man-hours a week checking the logs and the messages and in BRMS across their IBMI environments. I believe they said they had something like 17 partitions in total. So it took them a long time to get that information. How can you administer something like that across all your systems? Well, that's why it took them 40 man-hours a week, right? You get the wall of screens. It'd be interesting to see if someone actually had that many screens or if they just had that many different sessions on their desktop. But as you can see, more screens equals more IT time. So how do you administer all that across all your systems? Enter Insite and Insite Analytics. If you're not familiar with it, Insite is our single pane of glass browser-based digital hub. It installs on a Windows or Linux server. For HelpSystems clients, those clients who have HelpSystems products, it's part of your HelpSystems license, Insite is. We've added dashboards and screens that give you visibility into the data on many HelpSystems products. As Insite continues to grow, we'll keep adding more and more HelpSystems products to it. With Insite Analytics, you can write queries and access data on various platforms. Your dashboards can have data on different sources as well as data from other HelpSystems products, all on one dashboard. We have added BRMS dashboards and templates to Insite Analytics. This allows BRMS users to have better visibility into the results of the backups and of their BRMS network's health. For BRMS users, the advantage of Insite Analytics is that you can see multiple systems on dashboards that we have built for you. you can have business data, operational data, data from different sources, all on one dashboard, right? You can build your own dashboard over those types of data. The data can be displayed, like I said, as data or as graphs. They can have drill downs, those types of things, all available within Insite Analytics. Now, before we get to the demo, I'm going to give you all some homework. Didn't think there was going to be a quiz now, did you? I'm going to put a polling question out here. So let me launch a polling question. All right. I would like everybody out there to go ahead and answer the questions here. Give it a few minutes to go. How many systems are in your environment that require BRMS backup management? So we just put 4 different categories out there, right? Some of them are quite large, but if you can just give us an idea of what we're talking about here for your BRMS backup environments. So we'll let this click out for a couple of minutes before I share the poll. But it's interesting for us to know where you all are coming from, right? And just see how the graph would come out here at the end. All right, give it just another couple of minutes. Looks like a couple of you are still clicking, so that's excellent. All right. Well, thank you for everyone for answering here. I'm going to go ahead and close the poll for the time being. So thank you. And I'm going to share it up on the screen here real fast just so we can see. So we can see a lot of them in the top 2, but we even got some in the bottom one, more than 100. Excellent. Excellent. Beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate that. One more question here. If you don't mind. This is a guesstimate. How much time do you or your team spend monitoring your backups? We mentioned that one customer who we talked about who has 40 man-hours per week. So if you break that down per day, right? So how much time checking your messages, checking your logs, making sure everything went okay? Just kind of, again, let this run for a minute or so as you all are clicking. Good job. I think you guys are getting the hang of this. You're voting quicker. And again, it's an estimate, right? So if it's you have a better idea. If it's someone on your team, you might have an idea. Okay, so just go ahead and make your best guess as far as this goes. I'll let it go for a few more seconds before I close it. Again, we really appreciate the information. And beautiful. All right. Go ahead and close the poll at this point. Again, share up the results just real quickly, just to kind of see. So a lot of them between 15 minutes to an hour a day, right? There's some less than 15, some are between 1 and 2, and more than 2 hours. So pretty relatively evenly spaced across there. So beautiful. Excellent. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all your input on those. I think you all pass with flying colors, all of our attendees. All right, so now on to the demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch on Insight from a high level, the same for Insite Analytics. They're going to focus, though, on the data connections for BRMS, and then we're going to look at the BRMS dashboards that we have built for BRMS clients in Insite Analytics. And then we'll end up with a couple of other dashboards that you can build within Insite Analytics. All right. So again, bear with me while I switch over. Excellent. This is our Insite Analytics logon screen, Insight logon screen. So let me log on to our server right here. Once you have Insight installed, all right, then you will see the HelpSystems products that you install with it and that you have license to. And you'll see them on the left-hand pane here. We see Automate, Automate Schedule, and on down the list, PowerTech Network Security, etc. There are several that are out there. Okay. One of the nice things about Insight for HelpSystems customer is Insight comes with your HelpSystems product license, and you do get a deployment manager. So if you're a HelpSystems customer, you do have the ability to monitor your HelpSystems products to see where they're at. Are they current, right? You can see all of these various products have several systems that have the little red dot, meaning, oh, you're a little bit behind, okay? But the focus today is not so much on Insight, it's on Insite Analytics. So now I'm going to switch over to Insite Analytics. Now within Insite Analytics, you can build queries and that over your data, but you have to make your data connection first. And that's true for BRMS as well. So you see here, these are the data connections that we have set up. I have 4 of them here that are identified specifically as BRMS, and I have one other one that just has some data on a DB2400 database. You can put connections to SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, Excel, etc. out here. It's relatively easy to create the connection. You give it a name, you identify it, we give you the path once you pick the driver. Looking at the queries, you see I have one test query out here. I'm not going to spend too much time on that, but you can add new ones, you can build new ones. Specifically for BRMS though, we have this thing called add from templates. So we've provided you with several different query templates. Okay, now you can't modify these queries directly because they're used under the covers, right, to help you populate what we've built for you. But you can open one of them and do a save and save it as an existing query, which would appear on the list that you saw underneath the test query out over here. You'll see that you can decide who to see it, who you can share it with for visibility, and as well as who can see it for editing. So as a designer, you have that control. Okay, so that list can continue to grow. But now let's go look at dashboards. Okay, when you click on the dashboard section, you'll see any dashboard that you've been either created or has been shared with you. Okay, for visibility, for editing. For BRMS specifically, we have 2, BRMS Backups and BRMS Network. Okay, remember these are pre-built dashboards showing live data over your BRMS systems. Okay, so I'm opening up the BRMS Backups dashboard here. And what we see, the customers who we've shown this to previously have told us all about monitoring the system, and this addresses that challenge, is going across systems. So we see the top quadrant here has objects not saved. Whenever you have the information displayed in a list like this, you can sort. So I can sort on number of objects, right? I can sort on that, not saved. Got one backup there that didn't save a lot of objects, so maybe I could look into that one a little bit. I can maximize the screen if I need to see a little more room, spread some things out. You can do that with any of the panels, any of the widgets on your dashboard. You see we have active, successful, and failed backups. We have 5 failed backups there in the upper right. Well, if you look at the list down below, it has all of our BMS connections. The system knows, based on the BRMS identification in the network connection, what they are, and there's Ocelot. There are 5 errors right there. Caracol and Ocelot have some errors. Let's click on that first row, and it will drill into the data, and now it's showing me the information behind that failed backup. You see that top entry had a list there for a severity level 40. So it gives you the ability to analyze the system, see what's going on, shortens the time to determine if there was a problem, and then you can go address that problem. Okay, and that was the backups dashboard. Now I'm going to go to the network dashboard. What we see here is the listing of the network health. We're showing the release level for the system, the PTF level. Again, you can sort on that, on any of the fields here. And our customers we showed this to really like this ability to be able to sort and look at that various data, help you find things quicker. Okay, so it's really good for that. In the lower right-hand quadrant, we have the expired media listing showing all the media that's available to us. And then we have the chart showing the expired media count by system. Okay, you can see they should be even, right? So we probably, in our environment, we probably should actually go out and run the rebalancing within the BRMS product, right? That's probably something we should do in our environment. But you can see that by clicking on that, I opened it up in design mode. I mean the detail mode, so I drilled into the media there that was available to see the system count. Now, I talked about sharing dashboards for display or for editing. Now, if you see here, let's say that I want to modify this. I want to add something. And if I look up at the top, I have been shared with it as my profile for editing. So I can turn editing on. You may not want to do this in your environment. I'm just showing you the capabilities of the tool. So when you're in edit mode, when you hover over a widget or a section, you get some options. You can remove it, not recommended in this case, but I'm going to add a section, right? Any environment that you have configured for HelpSystems products will be there, including Insite Analytics. All right, so I click on that, scroll down a little bit. There's that test query, right, which is probably business data that we created. But there's another section, called BRMS assets. When you choose one of those queries, one of those assets, you get to choose the systems. Okay. Now, depending on the actual object that you select, the asset or the query, you'll get different options for lists or for widgets like charts and graphs, things like that. When it's a list, you get to choose the fields from that query that you want to include on the display. You get to choose the position, so help you find things easier. Okay. So it has a lot of valuable information here that you can see. And then rather than having the user sort it after the fact, you can change the sort to be a particular order, right? So it gives you a lot of ability to do that. So I can pick and choose. Again, I can create my own. I could have copied one of those templates and chose that one, but I'm just showing you the capabilities here. So now I have a new section. I'll turn off editing so you can see it a little bit more easily there. There we are. I've added some functionality to that dashboard. Okay. Again, could be other BRMS data, could be other type of system data. I'm going to just show real quickly some of the other functionalities through Insite Analytics. This is a dashboard that we created for a customer who wanted to track daily, month-to-date, and year-to-date sales by sales rep by location. So the data is actually coming from Excel workbooks out on a server. Okay, Insite Analytics made that connection, bringing that data back. You can have drill downs from the query that's graphed here, right? So we can see that drill down. We can do the same thing. So if we see the list of sales reps, we can click onto their row and see the data. Now another type of dashboard here, this one's built over a data warehouse, the SQL data warehouse. So I'll filter on SQL data warehouse and take me to that section. There we go. And again, showing just today's sales, month-to-date sales, year-to-date sales, as well as the gross margins for those, and various different types of graphs showing different types of brands and margins. And when you see something, if it's set up as a drill down, I can click on it and get right to the drill downs. So that wraps up the demo. So what we talked about again was the BRMS pieces that are included with Insite Analytics, right? As well as some of the things you can do within Insite Analytics on your own. All right. So we saw how we can bring the multiple BRMS systems together for review in a single place. That single dashboards at the top. We've provided the dashboards and the queries that are running underneath there to help you with identifying and investigating and solving your issues faster, so you don't have to spend that 40 man-hours per week doing that process. Okay. I do see there's a lot of questions coming in. We'll get to them in just a second. We do have another polling question we're going to put out here, so bear with me while I launch the next question. All right.
So while that's coming up, there are a lot of questions coming in. If we run out of time and we cannot address all of those while we are on the webinar here, we will definitely follow up with you personally.
Exactly. Yep, there are a lot of questions coming in, so keep them coming. Okay, John's was talking about, oh, that's the one, okay. Daniel has a few questions here. Go ahead.
This last polling question was, would you like to see a more in-depth demo of BRMS Dashboards and Insite Analytics? So I'll give you just a couple more seconds to answer that one.
Correct. I always like to, I'm a little quirky with this. I like to keep it, to about a minute. So that's where we'll go. We're getting good responses from everyone here. So thank you for paying attention. Go ahead and stop that. Okay.
Great. Thanks, Mike.
All right, let's take a look at some of the questions.
So there is a question on how is this licensed. So the BRMS Dashboard and query templates are provided with the purchase of Insite Analytics. And there are different options available for Insite Analytics depending on your organization's needs. So the business intelligence sales team can discuss and review the options with you if you're interested in that.
Yeah, I'm glad you took that one. I saw licensing and I kind of glossed over. I'm the technical guy, right? Excellent, thank you. Just reading some of the questions that are coming in. Does the failure or the object locked, the object's not saved, show who has the object locked? It does show you more information. I didn't click on the drill downs underneath the object's not saved. So it would show you if there's a message out there. So it would show you whatever the BRMS system would have out there. We are continuing to expand some of the functionality and some of the things out there. For example, your recovery report, right now you still have to run from BRMS. We're looking at ways to maybe run it from here as well, from the Insite Analytics side of the world. So there's different enhancements, but yes, that was from Daniel. We do have that ability. It shows you who has something locked. Doesn't unlock it for you, doesn't give you that capability, but it does show you that.
I think he had another question. Can the edit mode be locked out from people who just need to display the dashboard?
Absolutely.
Good question.
Absolutely. Yep. Very good question. Yes. When the administrator installs Insite Analytics, you're the only one who can see them at that point. And then when you share it, you decide share with edit capabilities or share with just display capabilities. Absolutely. And that's true on any query and or dashboard that you create within Insite Analytics if you were to create some manually. Can the display be set up to show start, stop, and total time? That one I don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that one, Daniel. Does a BRMS network show only one BRMS network or multiple networks? If inside your network, if you can identify your various partitions or servers to analytics, it will be across multiple BRMS networks, I believe. I'll get that verified. That came from John. But yeah, as long as you have the connections set up, we'll get that verified. I'd like to confirm this is part of the suite. Company we already have. Yeah, so Fernando, it says he wants to verify that Insite is part of the suite. So if you currently license robot products, you said listed specifically schedule and network. Yeah, you can get Insite, absolutely. With Insite Analytics, there would be a license on that, including the which includes Insite Analytics includes the BRMS piece, like Stacy was just talking about. So, but yeah, Insite is part of your robot license, a HelpSystems product licensing. How does it differ from Monitor? Monitor really looks at just one system, I believe, at a time, kind of doing a little bit. This one's more focused on this. We do allow you to edit it. We do allow you to edit the dashboard, add things to the dashboard with Insite Analytics. So it gives you a little bit more, as well as, like I said, cross systems and across partitions on that. Not huge. I don't know that much about Monitor, but I believe that just gives you a single place to look at all of your BRMS environments. Wow, these questions are coming in good. Good thing we got a little bit of time left here. Does Insite have to be purchased separately? I wasn't clear on that. Okay, yeah. No, Insite is part of your HelpSystems product license. Okay, there's no charge for that. If you're not a HelpSystems customer, you just get Insite with Insite Analytics. But if you are, Fernando, if you're a person there, you can install Insight, choose Insite Analytics as part of your install, license Analytics, and then you have everything I showed today.
So there's a question on a trial. Is a trial available? So yes, a trial is available. Full access to Insite Analytics and the BRMS templates would be available to you during the trial.
Yep. Another question, when you have multiple customers, do you have separate logons? The administrator controls that. Yep, you can have separate logons because that's where you can control which logon has edit, which logon has share capabilities, things like that. Are you able to set one portal? Yeah, you could set one and run it from there, but you can also set multiple. Each user can have their own password and have their own controls. Can I eliminate a list of objects that I know will fail? Currently not. This is from John. Can I eliminate a list of objects that I know will fail? Right now, we grab everything that BRMS is providing, right, that has failed. So it goes out and it will grab everything out there. But that's a good point. It may be on the roadmap. I don't know off the top of my head if that's on the roadmap. I'll double check on that. But if you can set up a rule of some sort to say, yeah, don't show me these because I know they're not gonna back up, right? But right now it does not. It just shows you the information. What services are needed to establish the connection? What you need is, like I said, what services are needed, it's basically you need the Insight. When you install Insight, we provide all the JWC type drivers that would be needed. In this case, if you only had BRMS, then it's only the BRMS driver. We provide it, so when you identify a data connection as a BRMS, we use that driver that we install, and you're good to go. There's no other special services on the IBMI side or on the PC side. Right? That kind of goes to John's next question, is he using HTTP or something else? So we're using the HTTP to make the connection to the server, your normal browser connection to your Windows server, and then making the JWC connection to the database, and going from there. Can we tailor the underpinning SQL directly? Yes, you can. Like I said, you can't change the queries that we provide, the templates, but you make a copy of it, right? Call it Mike. Let's everybody call it Mike so we can all have a query on your systems called Mike, right? You call it Mike, and then you can go and replace one of the widgets on the existing dashboard with Mike if you like, and it will have the tailored underpinning SQL that you have out there. You do want to be a little careful because some of these SQLs can be a little large and complicated, right? If you're not familiar with SQL. If you are, you're good to go. Not a problem. If you're a little unfamiliar with SQL or a little iffy on that whole SQL subject, then be careful with that. But again, you can't change the exact under ones. We lock those down, but you can make a copy of it and then change the dashboard. Absolutely. You can even create your own. Like I said, you can go into query, create something on your own, create your own query, and put it on a dashboard, either the one that we have built or build your own dashboards to access the data. Whew. Now, it looks like we're getting to the bottom of an hour. I think I missed some of the questions here. I'll go through and reread some of them. Couple there were questions I have to double check on, so I'll follow up on that. And wow, thank you for the good questions.
Perfect.
This was awesome, everybody.
Yeah,
this was
great.
Awesome question. So I really love it.
A lot of good questions. Yep. So you're right. We are at the end of our time here. Mike, thank you, and nice job with the demonstration. And really, thanks everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We hope you have a great day.